Today's top technology and cybersecurity briefing starts with 3 fast signals: a critical Grafana OnCall token exposure, multiple OpenClaw agent platform vulnerabilities, and a hard-coded secret issue in a self-hosted security API. The main takeaway is simple: the tools that run automation, alerts, browser tasks, and scans now need the same production controls as your most sensitive business systems. This is a defensive news summary based on NVD records and linked advisories. No exploit code or attack instructions are included. Story 1 is CVE-2026-63087 in Grafana OnCall through version 1.16.11. NVD rates it critical with a 9.8 CVSS score. The confirmed issue is unauthenticated access that may allow a remote attacker to obtain a valid PluginAuthToken through an internal plugin install endpoint when default values are present. Why it matters: OnCall is not just another web app. It sits close to incident response, alert routing, operational contact points, and internal API flows. If a token tied to that layer is exposed, responders should think beyond patching and also consider token rotation, access log review, and checks for unexpected configuration changes. For businesses running Grafana OnCall, the defensive sequence is practical. First, verify whether your deployment is affected and apply the fixed version or official mitigation. Second, avoid exposing internal plugin endpoints to the public internet. Third, rotate potentially affected plugin tokens or related secrets where vendor guidance recommends it. Fourth, review authentication and administrative events around the exposure window. The sourced fact is the NVD vulnerability record and its advisory references. The analysis is that operational tooling deserves priority because it can influence how teams detect and respond to other incidents. Story 2 moves to AI agent infrastructure, CVE-2026-62207 in OpenClaw before version June 5, 2026. NVD describes an authentication bypass where lower trust callers may reach admin-scoped tools because policy checks on configured input paths are insufficient. That language matters for anyone experimenting with agents. Agent systems often connect natural language inputs, workflow rules, tool calls, and privileged actions. If the boundary between low-trust input and administrative tools is weak, the agent layer can become a path to actions the user never meant to authorize. The immediate defensive work for OpenClaw users is to upgrade, then audit who and what can invoke tools. Separate untrusted input routes from admin-capable actions. Put human review in front of dangerous operations. Monitor for unusual tool call sequences, especially around file operations, scheduled jobs, network access, and administrative APIs. The confirmed fact is the published CVE and advisory references. The broader analysis is that AI agent platforms are infrastructure. They need identity controls, authorization checks, logging, and least privilege by design. Story 3 is CVE-2026-62202, also in OpenClaw, affecting versions June 1, 2026 before June 9, 2026. NVD describes privilege escalation in isolated cron jobs that can let lower trust callers regain denied execution tools. Scheduled automation is powerful because it persists. A one-time misconfiguration can become a recurring action that runs when nobody is watching. If your environment allows agents or automation to create scheduled jobs, review existing cron definitions, owners, permissions, and recent changes. Patch first, then confirm that denied capabilities cannot reappear through a scheduled path. Story 4 is CVE-2026-62207 in OpenClaw browser snapshot routes, affecting version April 14, 2026 before May 26, 2026. NVD describes server-side request forgery risk where post-navigation destinations are not properly validated. Browser automation and snapshot features are useful for agents, testing, monitoring, and research. But they also create a service that can make network requests from inside your environment. Treat that capability carefully, use egress controls, block metadata services and internal-only ranges, validate final destinations after redirects, and log destination patterns. Story 5 is CVE-2026-62241 in the clawvet self-hosted API server before version 0.7.5, rated critical by NVD. The record describes a hard-coded fallback JWT secret and token forgery risk in the self-hosted API server, while noting that the published CLI package is not affected. The defensive lesson is bigger than one project. Never ship production services with default secrets, sample keys, or fallback values that can survive deployment. Update, replace default secrets, rotate active sessions, and confirm that scan records are visible only to intended users. Across all 5 stories, the pattern is consistent. Modern AI and security stacks are highly connected. Agents call tools. Alerting platforms hold tokens. Browser services reach networks. Scanners store sensitive findings. Cron jobs persist actions. That connectivity is useful, but it raises the cost of weak identity, weak isolation, or weak secret management. Builders should threat model the control plane, not only the model output or user interface. Here is a compact checklist. Inventory affected versions today. Patch Grafana OnCall, OpenClaw, and clawvet where applicable. Restrict public exposure of internal plugin endpoints, agent administration routes, browser snapshot services, and scanner APIs. Rotate tokens and default secrets when exposure is possible. Review logs for new admin users, unexpected token changes, unusual agent tool calls, suspicious scheduled jobs, and browser requests to internal destinations. Finally, document the trust boundaries in your agent workflows so future features do not silently bypass them. The uncertainty to keep in mind: a CVE record confirms the reported vulnerability details and severity, but your actual incident risk depends on deployment, exposure, version, configuration, authentication, and network controls. This channel's recommendation is defensive: patch quickly, reduce exposure, and preserve logs before making major changes. Sources are linked in the description, including NVD, GitHub security advisories, and vendor or researcher advisory pages.